Welcome to GTV Farmers Weekly. This time around, we reflect on the 36th National Farmers Day Awards, not in its entirety, but focusing on the exhibition mounted at Techiman in Bono region by the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, MoFA, and the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR. Much as you might know aspects of the two institutions, the exhibition appears to be a revealing one-stop shop. We will start with the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, which issued and supervises the key agricultural program called Planting for Food and Jobs, a flagship of the current government. It will be followed by the research scientists of the CSIR, who will give us insights into what the various institutes of the council do. Starting with the Ghana Commercial Agricultural Project GCAP under the ministry, we want to unveil a digitized information bank where irrigation information can easily be accessed by the press of a button. The project coordinator of GCAP, Mr. Osei Owusu-Agyeman, and an agroeconomist with the Ghana Irrigation Development Authority, Edem Abra Adom Yenu, will take turns to brief us what the digitized information on irrigation entails.
We are supposed to improve infrastructure, management, institutions, and irrigation. So over the past years, what we do, we are improving on the infrastructure. We focus on the three biggest irrigation sites in Ghana, in Pond, right and left, then Tono. And another key component is to look at the human beings who manage infrastructure. We've also sponsored training for professionals in irrigation, about 4,000 man hours of training, both local and foreign, another project. Then we move to the institutions. There are two main institutions that run irrigation in Ghana. First, we have ICO, who have the management responsibility for Tono irrigation projects. Then we have Ghana Irrigation Development Authority, GIDA. They have the regulatory and management responsibility for all irrigation sites and projects in Ghana.
GIDA was established since the 1960s, and we have accumulated a lot of documents. That's reports, feasibility study reports, and maps over time. And it is time for us to preserve these documents so that we can make it available to the public. Also, with our restructuring and modernization process, one of the key things, apart from providing efficient and timely water for users, is that we have to make available the opportunities that is in the irrigation sector to the investors, so that they can also come to invest in the irrigation subsector. So digital library is preserving our information and also providing opportunities that is in the irrigation subsector for the private sector. And these opportunities include area, irrigated land available for farming, warehouses, agro inputs, etc., etc.
All maps on irrigation sites in Ghana are on paper, both at the Lands Commission and at the Irrigation Authority. So we set up a digital library to put all maps, generally all farming lands in Ghana will be put on the digital library. More specifically for here, for GIDA, we've identified all the irrigation sites in Ghana, and gradually we're putting them all on digital, so that by the tap of a computer, wherever you are in the world, you can get information about all irrigation sites in Ghana. And that is an investment opportunity. We are looking for investment opportunity. There are several opportunities in the existing ones, the ones that are rehabilitating. The agro processing, there are scheme management, there is warehousing, and we need to open up the whole world so that the investment that we made, as I always say, can be sustained and can pay for itself to be able to develop other sites.
The information library entails the name of the project, the community that it is located in, the area available for irrigation, that is area for expansion, that is the whole area for farming, the potential area, the irrigable area, and then if there is a potential for expansion too, it's there. We have the crops, we have the maps, and the associated reports, the feasibility study reports, and also other documents and other reports that we have generated over time to all be made available online for other users to access.
Water can either be used for electricity, consumption of agriculture, as a human needs. All these things are being addressed at Polugu. That we are going to produce power available to the people, we're going to produce water for consumption, and we're going to produce water for irrigation. And this touches on every aspect of life in the area. We're going to build roads. We're going to build thousands of kilometers of roads which will go through every section of the irrigated land, and to create jobs in the construction and also post-construction, as we seek to make sure that we invite investors to farm, to process, and to sell agri products and all those things.
We will now open the floodgates for others in the Ministry of Food and Agriculture to comment about planting for food and jobs and how the exhibition that were pitched at Techiman telescopes into the broad agenda. Please sit back and follow the statements by the program managers.
Under the Planting for Food and Jobs, what the project is doing is that it's helping farmers to access what we call inputs, production of certified seeds for the farmers, and we work together with the contractors. We've also been working with GCAP, Ghana Commercial Agriculture projects. They are helping us rehabilitate our irrigation schemes so that the farmers can have all year round cropping. Their yields now is going up. Before the introduction of the Planting for Food and Jobs, yields were very low. We are getting around 3.5 tons per hectare. But since we started with the seed production and intervention from government, where we are getting fertilizer on subsidy, we are able to increase our yields now. The yields on average now is 5 tons per hectare. And our rice is the best on the market so far. People who access our rice, when they get back to where they are able to retail it, they come back with good feedback and tell us that what we are doing is the best. So we encourage the government to do more to increase accessibility to what we call the inputs, so that farmers will have access to inputs at all times, so that there wouldn't be a quota where it gets to a point during the minor season farmers will not have access to the fertilizer. It's a good program and we encourage government to continue.
Terrarium for Food and Jobs, which is a module of the Planting for Food and Jobs, is dealing with sheep, pigs, cockerels, guinea fowls, and cattle. As to how farmers can benefit, you need to see your district officer, that's district officer for agriculture, or your extension agent. Tell him or her what you want to do, like you want to do sheep, goats, or whatever. Then they will register you, compile a list, bring it to Accra, so that when the animals are ready, they are sent to you, then you can also start. But there are requirements. There is a criteria for selection. One, you should have a house. That's, if pigs, you have to get a pig pen or a pigsty, that housing for the animals, for that matter. Then you should be prepared to feed the animals even in the dry season. You should allow for medication. That's you have to. And finally, you allow the extension agent to visit you and take records. What we give out is, for sheep, we give you 10 animals, 9 females and 1 male. What we do is we give you these animals, you rear them, then we have what we call the pass on the gift. So within 2 years, definitely the animals will farrow. Then if we give you 1 animal, you give us double that's 2, which is also passed on to other farmers. For pigs, it's the same system, but you pay 3. For every 1 animal you are giving, you give out 3. The reason being that pigs are more prolific. So if you even have 1 pig and we give you 5, within 1 year, you can pay 15. So the other 4 are for you. For the cockerels and the guinea fowls, you pay 50% the cost of it. So in that case, there's no pass on. We don't come and recover and give to other farmers. We pay up instantly 50% of the cost. For now, it is 6. For last year, it was 6 cedis. This year is 6 cedis, 50 pesos per cockerel. You rear it, you use it around your house. If I say you use it, you sort of allow the cocks to cross the local females. Then the egg production increases. Then growth rate also increases.
What we are doing currently is that we are linking millers to the importers. Now, there's a government policy that is saying that government is not buying imported rice anymore. They are buying made in Ghana rice. And Olam has taken advantage of the enabled environment to work with other millers, that's the value chain actors, in adding value to packaging. Olam is one of the heavy importers of rice into Ghana, and for them to take that bold step in launching their own brand of Ghana rice, the Mama Gold, it makes us stand a pole position to meet our targets of being self-sufficient in the nearest possible time. So we are linking not Olam alone, we are linking most of these importers into the Ghana rice market, where if you can see here, we have different millers around, packaging and branding in their own names, but they also sell some of their grain rice to other importers of rice, naming them in different ways. So this is what we are doing. So you can see that the network is well done, and the sustainability program is put in place to make sure that the Ghanaian farmer sees what he has invested in, and also we can meet our targets in the nearest possible time.
We are working with the government with the support of AGRA to make sure that the packaging is properly done, and we are ensuring that even those who are importing rice into the country are also participating in the local rice industry.
In the end, what we really would want to see is that farmers are able to produce, and that they have already markets that is waiting for them to be able to sell. Once that is done, what we are going to achieve at the end of the project is that there's going to be an increase in productivity, an increase in income, for all the value chain actors.
Extension services, as you all recall, is the third component of the 5 pillars of planting for food and jobs. We have the seed, the provision of certified seed, and then following that, then we have the provision of fertilizers. In fact, a major challenge to many of our farmers before 2017 was that of access to fertilizer. Now, when they get these 2 key inputs to farming, the next thing is the ability to use the inputs the correct way. That is taking them through good agricultural practices, combining the inputs. And this is where extension services come in. That is teaching the farmer the right quantities to use, the right time to apply, and during the cultivation, what good agricultural practices to put in place. So extension plays a key part. In fact, it is one of the 5 key pillars of the Planting for Food and Jobs campaign. In the course of implementation, farmers encounter challenges. Some of the challenges are beyond the extension officers' knowledge. So these challenges, production challenges, are transferred to our agricultural research, our research institutions. When they come out with the appropriate solutions, they are then brought back to extension services, who then, extension serve as a vessel or conduit through which improved agricultural technologies are sent back to the farmers to use.
There are 2 subsidy programs happening in the country. One is under the Cocoa Board, and one is under the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. When people are saying that the fertilizer under the subsidy program is free of charge, probably they are talking about under the cocoa sector. But within the 2 administrations, both the NDC administration and the NPP administration, fertilizers under the Ministry of Food and Agriculture are not free. At least there's a component of subsidy which farmers are paying.
So you think that it's the subsidy that has helped them or that has freed up some of their resources to be able to expand their farms?
Well, that is so, because if you look at the quantum of seeds and fertilizers that the current administration is giving out to farmers, that has brought in improvement, the desired improvement into the system. For example, if you are talking about rice alone, 2020, you are distributing almost 11,000 metric tons of agri seeds to farmers. And if you translate that one to area and the production, you see that's a quantum leap of rice in the country. Similarly, if you are talking about maize, both hybrids and open pollinated varieties, we have done about 8,000 metric tons of maize seeds to farmers. And if you also want to translate it into area and the production, you will see that there's a quantum leap of maize into the system. So I can say that because of the subsidy program, farmers now can have access to these planting materials, and also they have money leveraging on to buy more inputs that they are using to expand area under cultivation.
When we look at how we started, where we are going, and what we have achieved in the past 3 years, it means in the next 3 years, following the program in the same way, we will be able to achieve self-sufficiency. And this, the indicator for us to be confident, is based on the quantity of seeds that we distribute on yearly basis and quantity of fertilizer that we distribute on yearly basis to farmers. And we have been increasing it. Like, for instance, in 2016, the total quantity of certified seed distributed in Ghana was about 2,000 metric tons of certified seed. In 2020, Ghana, we distributed 30,000 metric tons of certified seed under the Planting for Food and Jobs. So from 2,000 to 30,000, it tells of the quantum of production of various food crops that we are churning onto the Ghanaian market.
In summary, Planting for Food and Jobs was introduced by the government in 2017. It immediately jumped food production to high levels, giving hopes that Ghana could meet food sufficiency targets. The implications include provision of jobs, meeting nutritional needs of the population, import substitution, conservation of foreign exchange, establishment of agro-processing industries, and exporting both raw and processed food. Big harvests also have positive implications on food prices, and in Ghana, low prices at farm gates largely reflect the impact made by subsidies and other mitigating factors promoted by government to reduce production cost of the farmer. The government uses no less than $100 million of GOG budget to provide multiple interventions in the agri sector. Short-term dividends have been availability of food in the country with a surplus for export. The scientific community in Ghana has the CSIR as the centerpiece. The various institutes of the council are purpose-driven and discipline-specific. Together, they are the backbone of agricultural measures as they generate the knowledge to be relayed to farmers by agri extension officers. Among other things, the CSIR develops improved crop varieties, importantly to withstand climate change, and investigates plant and animal pests and diseases for solutions. From its laboratories, the CSIR scientists issue clean plant materials for multiplication, substitution, and consumption. The CSIR also offers training in various disciplines, including but not limited to glass fabrication, water purification, snail farming, beekeeping, mushroom cultivation, creation of biodigesters, incinerator operation, brick and pozzolana cement production, and general laboratory services. The CSIR is a pillar in the new agricultural dispensations such as Planting for Food and Jobs and Planting for Export and Rural Development, in the sense that improved plant material for farmers are essentially generated by them and to lesser extent some private operators. Here you are with some of the stands mounted in Techiman by the CSIR.
Apart from the snail meat, the slime in the snail, the slime is gold. But I understand the slime alone in an injection box bottle like this is about $25 in the US. The slime is very good for cosmetics. It's also very good for skin diseases, you see. So people are not aware. That's why we're asking people to come for the training. So that, and others don't know why they should come because they ask why do we have to come and learn snail farming. We can do it at home. No, because someone came to Foreign, he wanted to buy the breeding stock of snails. And he was asking for the male and then female snails. And then we told them, yeah, that's why we said come for the training, because the snail is, we don't have a female and a male. It's hermaphrodite. people don't know.
So the Oil Palm Research Institute is one of the 13 research institutions under CSIR, and we are mandated to carry out research into oil palm and coconut. And under the government's flagship project, Planting for Food and Jobs, we are supplying high-yielding oil palm planting materials. And through Ghana Sumatra, which is a subsidiary of Oil Palm Research Institute, we are supplying all the preheated, germinated, disease-tolerant planting materials to all the MMDAs who are being assigned to go into oil palm cultivation.
The CSIR Water Research Institute is one of the 13 institutes of the CSIR. We have 5 divisions and 1 unit. That's the Environmental Chemistry Division, Groundwater Division, Surface Water Division, Environmental Biology and Health Division, and the Fishery and Aquaculture Division. Then we have the Public Health Unit. With the Fisheries Division, what we do is we try to come out with fast-growing tilapia for the market, and we train the fish farmers as well as individuals who are interested in fish farming, and that's by doing that we create job for the populace. Then when we come to our Environmental Chemistry Division, we do a lot of work for the mineral water companies. We test their water before they even get their certification from the Food and Drugs Authority.
The CSIR Savannah Agricultural Research Institute is one of the 13 research institutes under the Council for Standard Industrial Research. Our mandate is to conduct research and come out with improved crop varieties that will help improve the livelihood of farmers in the 5 northern regions of Ghana. Over the years, we have conducted research into all the food crops that are found in northern Ghana. We have come out with improved crop varieties. Rice, for example, we have released about 15 varieties. Maize, we have released 17 varieties. Other crops, soybean, cowpea, and other things. So we can say that when we consider the crops that is cultivated in northern Ghana, almost all the food crops that's seen in the market are varieties that was developed by the Savannah Agricultural Research Institute.
Research Institute. We are one of the institutes under the council whose mandate is to conduct scientific research and develop technologies for efficient use of soil, efficient and sustainable use of soil, and for planning and management. So at this exhibition, we want everybody to know that in agriculture, the soil characterizes the soil, to know what type of soil it is and what crops will be suitable for cultivation on these soils. We also develop fertilizer blends. Now, initially we had NPK 15-15-15, which was a blanket fertilizer recommendation for all crops at all the agroecological zones. But currently we've done crop and agroecology specific fertilizer blends that have been incorporated into the Planting for Food and Jobs, which the farmers are now using for improved yields.
Animal Research Institute. As you can see, this is our mandate, our vision, and then our goals. Here, I want to state that before you go into animal production, you have to understand the industry, because it's an industry that can help you make money or you lose money. So you have to ensure that you do your planning, make sure you get all your inputs in time, and that is what animal research is in for. For example, if you take breeds of animals, there are some breeds that are not good for our environment. You must know which breeds you are bringing. When it comes to feed, you must know how to feed the animals under each ecological zone, because when you go down south, when the temperatures are cool, you need to modify your feed. When it goes to areas where the temperatures are high, you also need to modify your feed. Otherwise, you won't get good products from your animals. Then there's also the section of health, which we also cover. And you must also make sure that certain diseases are catered for in terms of vaccinations and prophylaxis. But here we come, because we cannot bring live cattle and those things, we have brought some species. For example, this is a feed block. The objective behind this is that you realize that in the rainy season, you have a lot of pasture. But in the dry season, the pasture is not there. So the advantage is that you take advantage of the rainy season, harvest enough, and process it into the feed block, so that in the dry season, when there is no pasture, you can feed it back, so that you don't get the drop in weight during the dry season.
CSIR Institute is part of one of the 13 institutes of the CSIR, and we are into agricultural communication and then electronics. We have gathered all technologies that have been developed within the CSIR and want to put them onto an app, and it's called CSIR Technologies. Farmers can now search these technologies on their mobile phones. This is what we want to do. So at a later date, we'll be launching them. The AgriTech Advisor is also one of the platforms that we have introduced. And this platform, farmers are supposed to ask questions so that all research scientists will answer them as and when the answers come, as and when the questions are available. And then anybody who is also a specialist in the field where the question is asked can answer the questions. And we are going to call it like Farmers Google. It will work like how Google works, operates. So that's the same level that we are doing. The same thing, we have this Agricultural Research Management Repository. CSIR is a research institute, and our researchers have a lot of articles which they have published. But then we don't have a repository where these articles are. Some are scattered, and that's why we want to bring all the research articles together, and hence this app that we are developing. Then the last one we call Equafo Marketplace. Equafo Marketplace is going to work like Tonaton, Gigi, Jumia, and so forth, so that where farmers can upload their products and then they will sell. Over there, farmers will register with their mobile phone numbers, their pictures, and then the produce, so that anybody who wants this produce can contact them on phone, and then they will bargain and then they will sell.
Important as they are in scheme of things, the CSIR faces funding challenges. Most of research done by the CSIR are donor-driven, whilst policymakers have the basis for increasing local production of soya beans in Ghana to avoid excessive imports of feed meal for livestock. The CSIR scientists have devised a backup plan, or Plan B, using the larvae of housefly or black fly to formulate animal feed rich in protein. The advantage the scientists bring on board is that the larvae feed preparation does not require a vast land space for cultivation of soya farms. In effect, the research scientists provide easier, simpler, and most effective means of doing the routine.